Thank you so much for joining us. This is the prospective student presentation for Oregon State University. My name is Amanda Price. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for Resident Recruitment here at OSU.
I'm Jared Lars. I am a regional admissions advisor in the office here. I am actually based off campus full-time in Seattle, working with our students from all across the state of Washington.
Today we're going to cover admissions requirements, academic programs, and student life. So much more to go on with OSU. Let's go ahead and get started. So Oregon State truly does go beyond the classroom. We have two different campuses. Our main campus is in Corvallis and another in Bend. We have 11 different academic colleges which students can study in, 12 different experiment stations across Oregon, so our footprint is everywhere. And then we're on all 7 continents, which make us one beaver nation. Here's a map to orient yourself a little bit better, but you'll see Corvallis there in big and bold, about an hour and a half south of Portland, about 45 minutes to an hour away from the coast, and about 2 hours, 2.5 hours away from our Bend campus at the base of Mount Bachelor. Kind of get an idea for where you're at, so you can think about driving distance, flying distance, and kind of measure it from there. Our main campus of Corvallis is what people like to call the traditional college town, this idyllic city where you come across that bridge and you go over the Willamette River and you look downtown. It's 4 or 5 main streets, mom and pop shops that have Go Beeves in the window, great restaurants and places to go shop. And then you walk over to campus really close by, and it's a campus of 30,000 students, Division I athletics, so many activities to get involved in. So this big college campus life in this very small, quaint town, which is kind of a cool combination. Our Bend campus is amazing because if you love Oregon State, you bleed black and orange like I do, but you're not sure you want to be on a huge campus, well, this gives you the benefits of everything and a smaller campus feel. So you'll have smaller classes, but still be a part of Oregon State University just in Bend. Being a part of OSU is so much more than studying, although very important because we go to college to eventually get that job. But we really want to make sure that you're active and you're building community and you're having a good experience while you're in school. We have over 400 different student clubs and organizations that you can join, clubs that have to do with your major. A good example of this is our SAE Form 1 racing team. It's the Society of Automotive Engineers. Honda will give our students an engine, and they build and design a race car from scratch. And then OSU will race in competitions all across the world. And we've beat out teams like MIT and Harvard. You know, no big deal, but such a cool thing for students to participate in. And there are other clubs like our Corgi Appreciation Club that one of our tour ambassadors started. She loved corgis, and she thought, hey, I'm gonna get together with other students that also love these friendly dogs. So truly something for everyone. Dam Jam is a program that happens every spring to kind of kick off the beginning of the spring term. We bring in talent to come and perform for our students. When I was a student at OSU, we had Macklemore perform. Last year it was Akon and Jesse McCartney. So definitely well-known names that get students excited so they can come and participate and have a good time. If you want to participate in Greek life, we have over 30 different chapters. You'll go through the recruitment process. It happens right before classes start in the fall. And then you can choose and select if you want to live in one of the houses or be a part of that community. If you're someone that played music in high school and want to carry on that tradition when you're in college, you definitely can do that. It doesn't have to be your major. It can be. We do offer music as a major, but you can still play the trumpet and be in the marching band and travel with the team, even if you're not studying it. We have a cappella groups as well. There's one girls group that will travel to Italy every year. So it could be a fun thing to try out, even if you never played or performed in high school too. The Adventure Leadership Institute is a unique experience for students who like to live on the edge, and they love that adventure life. I took a wilderness survival class through this institute when I was in college, and I loved it. They also have the ability to provide rental equipment to students. So if you did want to kayak down the Willamette River that you saw in the first picture of Corvallis, you could do that by getting equipment from them. They also have a bike center, so if you bring your bike to campus and your tire goes flat, they can help you fix it. We have 7 cultural and resource centers on our campus. One of my favorite activities that happens every year is with the Native American Longhouse. They do a salmon bake. So a local tribe will come, they'll perform a ceremony and bless the salmon, and then there will be a line that wraps all the way around campus for people to come and get a taste of what they brought. And it's so, so good. The Asian Pacific Islander Center hosts a luau. Cesar Chavez Center will do something for Cinco de Mayo. So there really is something to participate in all different cultures and backgrounds. Even if you don't identify as yourself, it's such a cool thing to be a part of. We have the Orange Media Network, which is our KBVR news and radio network. If you want to host your own radio program or podcast, this might be a great chance to do that. You don't have to have any experience. You can rent out their equipment. It's state of the art. If you're a sound or audio engineer, or if you want to be in the movies or be in TV, we have green screens and equipment that you can use. Very something cool to check out in our Student Experience Center on the 4th floor. Oregon State is part of the Pac-12 Division I athletics. We have 7 men's sports and 9 women's sports. When I was a student here at OSU, I was here the 2 years we won back-to-back World Series champions for baseball. That was a lot of fun to see. If you want to play Division I athletics, at the end of this presentation, there's our contact information, so go ahead and connect with us. If you're someone that's thinking, okay, I don't necessarily want to be at the Division I level, but I'm pretty competitive, you might be interested in our second option, which is club sports. So we have 40 different club sports, which you do have to try out for, and they compete against other teams throughout the Pacific Northwest. So that could be something to help scratch that itch of competitiveness. Or if you're someone like myself who never played sports in high school, you can do intramurals. Intramurals are where Oregon State students play other Oregon State students. There are A leagues, there are B leagues, so more competitive leagues, but then also more social leagues, which that's what I joined. But it was fun. I got to meet people and I got engaged. It was great. OSU Cascades, I want to make sure to mention, has some unique things because of where they're located. If you are a rock climber, Oregon State Cascades is about an hour away from a world famous rock climbing location of Smith Rock. And so having that at your disposal is just incredible to go and climb alongside someone from Australia and get that experience and exposure. If you're into esports, they have a team that's started. Skiing, of course, because they're at the base of Mount Bachelor and they have access to the mountains, so skiing, snowboarding, anything like that. But because of their location, they have all these unique opportunities. So we talked about getting involved and enjoying life on campus. What about living on campus? We have 16 different residence halls that students can choose from. If you want to live by yourself because you're an extreme introvert and you don't want to people, you totally can. Or if you want to live with one other person in a traditional dorm style room, very possible too. Or we even have suite style rooms, which are kind of like an apartment. You can see virtual tours of all of these different options online through our housing website and get a better picture of what might be an option for you. Our living learning communities are hosted around our academic colleges. For example, in the picture here, we have Weatherford Hall. It is home to our College of Business students. Our College of Business students, of course, sleep here and hang out here, but they also have certain events tailored around business students. So they bring in people that have started their own companies or been successful in different industries to come and do networking events. And it's hosted right there in their residence hall. Special interest communities have to do with the student's passion. So if you're someone who is passionate about the environment and sustainability, there could be a floor where like-minded students are with you and they want to make a real difference in their community and in the world. And you could be living right next to them. There's 18 different dining centers on our campus, and truly, it is good food, and I'm not exaggerating. And there's so much variety. So if you want sushi one day, a burger the next, you really can get anything. And then we even have a registered dietitian on our staff that can sit down with you if you have specific dietary requirements, or maybe you're just looking to live a healthier lifestyle. You can definitely do that. It could be possible. If you remember nothing else from this presentation, this is one of the most important components. Oregon State has over $440 million in research funding, which is a ton of funding to be able to support you to get involved in what you want to do for your future career. Many times colleges have to reserve their funding for graduate level students or those higher achieving undergraduate students, but it's just such a select few amount of people. OSU, because of the amount of money we have, we're able to support pretty much any undergraduate student that wants to get involved. The reason for this funding is that Oregon State is only one of 2 schools in the entire nation to have all 4 federal grants of land, sea, sun, and space. The C option here, we have Hatfield Marine Science Center, which I mentioned at the beginning. Hatfield Marine Science Center, we partner with NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, so our students can meet with the top scientists in their field. If they're interested in oceanography or any type of marine science, go out on our research vessels, explore the sea, get involved in that way. We're also the #1 forestry school in the United States, and a good part of that is because we have access to teaching forests and research forests. So the McDonald Den is about 10 minutes away from our campus. We also have the Food Innovation Center, which is in Portland. Cheese Whiz, is not real cheese. How did that come about? Well, the properties and principles of creating food like that could be found and discovered at the Innovation Center in Portland. We also have programs in food science, so if you're interested in becoming a winemaker or a brewer, that can be done through our programs too. Well, there really is something for everyone. So we have over 200 different academic disciplines with a variety of range. So if you're someone who is interested in ranching or farming, and you know that Oregon State was founded as the agricultural school, this is a great program. I mentioned at the beginning that we have experiment stations all across Oregon to help local farmers and ranchers with their work, present classes, and assist in that way. We have Earth, Ocean, and Atmospheric Sciences. Again, talking about Hatfield, which I already mentioned, or just different principles in terms of environmental sciences, which is a very hot topic right now. Engineering is probably the program we're the most well known for. We have the most disciplines of any school in Oregon. Mechanical, electrical, computer science, you name it, we probably have it. Lots of different options. Students within the College of Engineering have a chance to be a part of a program called MECOP, which is the Multiple Engineering Cooperative Program, where students can do 2 6-month internships and earn up to 70% of a starting engineer's salary for their 6 months of work. It's a pretty good deal. Our education program is a double degree, so depending on what you want to teach, you'll study that as your major, and then that double degree is your licensure process. So you're licensed to teach after you're done at OSU. Our forestry program I already mentioned, #1 in the United States, smaller classes, a great chance to participate and get hands-on learning. Our liberal arts program is the school that I proudly graduated from. I loved the experience, and if you're someone who's creative, you're a writer, you're into theater, I did speech communications, a lot of variety that you can try out in this program. Public health and human sciences, a very popular program is kinesiology, or it used to be called exercise sports science. So if you want to go on and become an athletic trainer, this might be the college for you. And then of course, the sciences, diverse, broad, so many options. If you're interested in pre-medicine or going on to anything else, this could be a good option for you. If you're someone that just doesn't know what you want to study, we do have university exploratory studies over there on the left, and it's the I don't know major. So if you're thinking, I'm not sure, there's too many options, don't worry, we have a program for you. So you can start out in university exploratory studies, meet with an advisor that's going to help you kind of figure out, okay, what am I good at? What am I passionate about? What do I want to do? And then they can work with you to make sure you're still on track to graduate in a timely manner. Our honors college is unique in that it is a degree granting institution. So it's not just a gold cord that you get when you graduate, you actually receive an honors baccalaureate diploma in your field. The classes are much smaller and they're more collaborative in nature. So it's not, you probably have taken AP or IB or honors level work in high school and you might be burnt out. That's not the case for our honors college students. When they get together in their classes, they want to solve problems. So they might be tasked with trying to figure out, okay, if it's an honors history class, you might talk about one historic figure, how they rose to power, things that they did that could be a lesson for modern day times, and talk about that, right? Solve it. So it's a very engaging type of college. We're the only veterinary medicine school in the state, so if you love working with animals, we do have the teaching hospital, and our full doctoral program in the College of Pharmacy, if you want to go on and do that. There's a QR code here at the bottom of the screen. Then if you take your phone and take a picture, hover over that QR code, you'll be able to pull up all of our different majors and see a little bit more about what might interest you. OSU Cascades does have your traditional programs in business and biology, but they also have some unique offerings because of where they're located. Bend is known as a tourist mecca, and so of course, one of their first majors is going to be tourism, recreation, and adventure leadership. This could give you training if you want to maybe open up your own whitewater rafting company. You need management skills, and you need to learn how to get investors and to get that started. Or maybe you're interested in hospitality management because you want to run your own resort. Or there's an option in energy systems engineering. There does tend to be a little bit more sun in Central Oregon, so you can learn about solar and renewable energy resources. So here are just a few examples of what OSU Cascades has to offer that maybe our main campus doesn't. These statistics are to back up that yes, we have all these things, but are they any good? Yes, we have been ranked really high, and I've already mentioned a few statistics, but we're #1 in the Pacific Northwest for innovation, so creativity and ideas and people making changes and putting new things out there. #2, forestry in the world, I already mentioned 1 in the United States. #3 in oceanography, 4 in natural resources, 4 in robotics, and 5 eCampus in the US. So this is top 10 of all these programs in the whole world, which is kind of an exciting thing that it's Oregon State University that gets a chance to participate in all this. And our students do well. So right now, the national average of students applying to medical school and getting in is around 33 to 40%, but Oregon State's success rate is much higher at the 60 to 70 percentile. We have a 98% pass rate for students in veterinary medicine school, 100% for athletic training, and a 90% pass rate for engineering licensure. Our students excel. They are hardworking Beaver believers, and they're doing great things.
All right, now that we've talked about majors and student life and all of that great stuff, how do we get into the university? We're going to be covering the admissions process and requirements, as well as general scholarship information for incoming students. At Oregon State, we use a holistic review process. So what that means is we are considering everything submitted to us in the application all at once. We are not a minimums-based requirements institution for first-year students. The exception will be transfer students. They're going to go through that same holistic process as well. But in that case, we do publish minimum GPA of a 2.25, as well as some transfer course requirements, college level writing equivalent to our writing 121, and college level math equivalent to either Math 105 or Math 111 with us. For some information about admissions, you can view that QR code there in the bottom right corner of the screen. Hovering your phone camera over that should take you directly to our webpage for some more detailed information about the review process for first year and transfer students. What we consider for first year students, broken down just a little bit more cleanly, it can be broken into a few categories. The first is academic history. We're looking at strength of curriculum, so the level of coursework that students are taking, especially as it relates to what's available at their high school. So things like advanced placement, honors level courses, a dual enrollment at a college, international baccalaureate curriculum, anything like that, all looks great to us as advanced curriculum. Grades and GPA, we are looking at pretty much the entire high school career, everything from 9th grade on. We're looking at grade trends, as well as that overall cumulative GPA. College prep courses, that is a list of 15 courses we need students to pass prior to enrolling at OSU. I'll go over those in a little bit more detail on the next slide. We do have an essay component. This year we're asking students to respond to one of the 7 standard Common App essay prompts. This is where we learn about who you really are as a person, those kinds of things that can't be really captured on a transcript, those personal characteristics. This is your chance to provide that to us. There is an additional personal statement, which is optional. This is a chance for students to provide anything to us that they feel their application may be incomplete without. A lot of students use this as an opportunity to explain maybe if something was going on that affected their academic performance is a great place to put that. But it's very open-ended. Anything that you feel OSU admissions should know when we're evaluating your application can be provided in that space. There is an additional COVID statement, which just gives us a little bit more information about how you and your school responded to things this spring. It is also optional. Test scores, the SAT and the ACT, are not required for admission or admission-based scholarships, but can be sent in. We'll go over that in a little bit more detail in a couple slides, but just know that test scores will be optional this year. And then the Honors College, if that's something you're interested in applying to, is part of the same university admissions application. So it's nothing extra you need to go find and submit, but it is an additional essay component. So make sure that you leave the extra time for that as you're applying. Just know they do have a separate competitive admissions review process. So if you apply to honors, you'll receive 2 admission letters, one from us, and then hopefully a separate one from honors later on down the road. To summarize, required items for a complete application are the online application with an official high school transcript, as well as that essay component we mentioned. The optional items are test scores, SAT or ACT, as well as that personal and COVID statements are both optional. You can apply one of two ways, looking at the banner across the bottom of that slide, either directly at our website, oregonstate.edu, or using the common application. We accept both and we have no preference one over the other. We're going to get all the same information we need from students through both applications. Either way students apply, there will be a $65 application fee. Two deadlines to keep in mind every year. The first is our early action deadline of November 1st. Students who apply early action will hear back from us no later than mid-December with a non-binding decision. So they are not committed to Oregon State. They can still apply to and check out all their other options. Really just is that notification of mid-December. Students who apply by our regular decision deadline of February 1st will hear back from us no later than mid-March. The high school courses we require students to pass prior to enrolling at OSU, just in a little bit more detail here. 4 years of English, 3 years each of math, science, and social studies, and 2 years of a single foreign language, all passed with a C- or better. For spring 2020, we will accept passing grades in place of that C- or higher letter grade. Test optional, I mentioned this is new this year. We're very excited about it. What this means is students applying to OSU will not be required to submit test scores for admission or scholarships. Students who do provide test scores that maybe aren't the best, or students who choose not to submit those test scores, will never be disadvantaged. We will never use those criteria as a reason to deny or disadvantage or hold anything against the student for any reason. Test scores will only be used in evaluation if it helps the student. For example, maybe a student has a little bit lower GPA, but they did really well on that ACT and they send in those scores to us. We have that information to fall back on. We would use those to help the student in that case. But again, if the student had a poor score they had sent in, we would never use that as a reason to deny them. One note, if test scores are being provided to us, they do need to come directly from the testing agency. We will not be able to work with unofficial score reports. Scholarships and financial aid, very important information, everyone's favorite topic, free money. Admissions-based scholarships this year will be based on a holistic review of the admissions application. So just by applying, everything that is provided to us in the Office of Admissions will also be used for that scholarship consideration. Award amounts are going to vary. If you are an IB student with that full IB diploma at an international baccalaureate school, there is an additional scholarship opportunity. For more information, you can visit the scholarships webpage there at the bottom of that screen. For all admission-based scholarships, students need to apply for our priority scholarship deadline of February 1st for consideration. Scholar Dollars, that box you see in the middle there, is an additional scholarship application just for admitted and current students only. So there is a little bit of a catch. Students do need to be admitted before they can access this. It is one scholarship application that matches students to a variety of academic department and additional OSU scholarship awards that they may be eligible for. It also offers an external search function for scholarships outside of the university. Again, scholarship awards are going to vary through that application, but most deadlines are going to revolve around early February. And then the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, as well as the ORSA, which is an Oregon State aid application. Just submit that to us by February 28th for priority consideration. The Western Undergraduate Exchange, or the WUI, is new this year as well. We are very excited about it. For those of you who don't know, the Western Undergraduate Exchange is a tuition reduction program. So students who qualify for the WUI award will be eligible to pay a reduced tuition rate of 150% of resident tuition. So not quite all the way down to that in-state tuition rate, but definitely a significant discount off of our out-of-state tuition rate. This is going to be treated as a competitive scholarship. So just like those other admission-based scholarships I mentioned, just by applying for admission by February 1st, students who are from a WUI state are automatically going to be considered for this award. There are no minimum GPA or test score requirements for consideration, as well as no restricted majors. So all residents of all WUI states are automatically going to be considered for this. If students are not selected for the WUI scholarship, unfortunately, it is going to be competitive, so it's not automatic or guaranteed. Just know that they will still be considered for all of those other merit-based admission scholarships I mentioned on the last slide. We want you to stay in touch with us. We know that you are going to have questions. There's a lot of information. Feel free to connect with us on Twitter and Instagram. Beaver VIP is our handle on both platforms. We do our best to publish important information, especially important upcoming deadlines there as they happen. So make sure you're following us to stay in the know about those. We also wanted to check out some virtual connection options through the Office of Admissions. There on the bottom left, that QR code will take you to our virtual visits webpage at the admissions webpage. You can check out our daily virtual tours with our current student ambassadors. They are guiding you through that online virtual tour, answering your questions as they go. We also have student panels with those current tour guides, able to answer your questions. That is a great way to get that current OSU student perspective. You can schedule a one-on-one meeting with your admissions advisor if you have more questions you want to go over in depth or are looking for some more information, as well as some other opportunities to connect with our academic departments virtually right now as well. And that is the end of this presentation. Thank you so much for listening. We provided the General Office of Admissions contact information here. In case you have additional questions or want more information, please feel free to visit our website and reach out to us for more help. You can also find the admissions advisor for students from your area using that QR code there on the left, taking you to the Oregon State admissions webpage as well. We are happy to provide individual support to students. Reach out and find the advisor who is responsible for your school. Our contact information is posted online and we're happy to help.
And that's it. So again, another QR code at the bottom so you can find your admissions advisor, know exactly who to talk to, but there's also the general contact information for Oregon State. Thank you so much for being here and listening to this presentation. We hope you do connect with us in person, and hopefully eventually we'll be able to come to campus, take a campus tour, and then maybe we'll see you in the fall. Thanks so much, and go Beavs.